good. If I can have everybody's attention, I hope everyone had a wonderful bit of food. There's still sandwiches left. More importantly, there's dessert. We have cookies and brownies. Again, if there's some left over, we will send them home with you. My name is Dan Benson. I serve the New Jersey State Assembly and represent parts of Mercer and Middlesex. But what we're really here is to celebrate you. As family members that have been touched by ALS, and we have a number of our folks here, John, and particularly Caitlin from Lawrence, we just want to recognize the great efforts of ALS Association of Greater Philadelphia, all the work they've done for the past 40 years. I keep wanting to say 50. Is that 40?
Hopefully that'll mean another thing.
No, I understand. Helping over 500 families in New Jersey alone, raising over $500,000. Is that each year? Or is that over the lifetime? Raising over $500,000 for research.
Well, this year, with your help, we got $250,000 in the legislature between us and Greater New York.
And that was a year where we put that in there, and it stayed into the budget, which is always a nice thing. We always worry about that. And what's so important is, again, research. As you know, with ALS, this is not a disease that's getting a lot of research from traditional pharmaceuticals or other areas. And that means it relies on both donations and groups from families and friends of those affected, but also by efforts at the state legislative levels. And that's why we thought it was so important to recognize the efforts of the ALS Association of Greater Philadelphia for all that they do as amazing advocates, amazing partners. And Tony's just a great guy in doing that. I know you get around quite a bit, they keep you busy. So I just wanted Tony to say a few words, and then I'm going to ask Senator Linda Greenstein to say a few things too, and then we'll present the proclamation.
I just want to say thank you. I just want to tell you about how I first met Assemblyman Benson. There's another family from Lawrenceville, the Phelan family, and Tom was a veteran with ALS, and we have a couple veterans here, but Willie, who I just met, and veterans are twice as likely to be diagnosed with ALS. And his wife, Carolina, was a widow and brought her 2 daughters. And we went, a lot of times you meet legislators and they say, we'd love to support you, and yes, that's fine. It's like a 5-minute meeting, and you feel good, but that's not, you don't want someone to just say yes. And you guys know, because you've raised so much money and done so much. But it was a different kind of meeting where Dan said, well, here's what we're going to do. Here's where you go. He told his assistant, print this out. It's like 100 pages of stuff, and it's literally like a big packet. I had it in my car, like going over it, saying this is what you need to do the next step. And we've met a lot of really good people in New Jersey. Senator Greenstein. I want to also mention, since we're here, Assemblywoman Pamela Lampett, who's been a big help. Assemblyman Troy Singleton. I was going to get that. Yeah. Going in alphabetical order. And Chairman Shear. And we had people like John Russo, who's testified in New Jersey multiple times. And we also have people with ALS that aren't here now. And I just would like to give a mention to my friend Milt Sierra and others who testified and for years making a difference in the state. And I thank you for the good words to me, but it's really the good people that have ALS that are making a difference. So thank you, everyone. You make going to work worthwhile, because this is why we do it, and that's why we'll keep doing it, and we appreciate everyone's support.
Thank you, Tony.
Sure. It's wonderful to be here today. I'm glad that Dan organized a picnic. That's unique and good, and to meet everybody who's involved with the organization and the great work that you're doing. I want to commend that. It's good to meet so many of you who've been touched by this terrible illness but have found ways to cope with it. It really gives all the rest of us a feeling of the ability to cope with so many things. And I want to say anything that I can do. I'm so glad we were all able to vote for this resolution, and anything that we can do to help, I would really like to do that. So Dan and I serve in the same district, the 14th Legislative District, and we look forward to being of help to you. So thank you so much, and great to meet you all.
Before I present the proclamation, I would be remiss if I didn't. This really came together because, we want to do something a little different than your standard kind of present a proclamation and photo op. We really want to recognize the heart and souls of ALS of Greater Philadelphia, and it's really the families that are behind it. I know Tony's got one of the toughest jobs in the world, but you guys have an even tougher job, and you make Tony's job a little bit easier, and you make it so worthwhile and fulfilling because of the personal stories, and John, your testimony, that's those personal stories that really do not only change minds but change hearts in the legislature and allow us to get the proper funding. And it's not just about dollars, it's about supporting research in general. How do we make New Jersey, which already is a research capital of the world, a place that focuses on rare disease and diseases that are not being listened to by the broader research community? And how do we make sure that clinical trials get to those that need them? And if there's support that's needed for those that need clinical trials, transportation and other additional support that usually can't be provided by researchers, how can states step in to fill the gap? And those are some of the conversations Tony and I are having. So there's more to be done now that we can hopefully continue to make this a yearly thing in the budget, hopefully maybe even bigger in the coming years, but also looking for other legislative ways to do that. But I would be remiss, we decided to do this picnic as a way to say thank you, but we couldn't have done it without my staff. Kate and Haley did a yeoman's job of getting everything together. I think it was a couple weeks ago, we said, you know what, let's do this. And they're like, sure, why not? And then they made it happen, and they always go above and beyond. And particularly my chief of staff's in LBI right now, and so they really picked up the slack and did everything. I was away the last 2 days. You know, Tony's traveling to soon or just came back. So they just, again, I just want to thank both of you for helping to make this happen. So on behalf of the state of New Jersey, this is actually from the entire legislature. It's from Senate President Sweeney, the Assembly Speaker Prieto, and everyone in the legislature. And it's signed. An official copy goes on our official record. I want to present this to John and Caitlin, particularly, and Tony. If we could just kind of come over to Caitlin over here, and we'll do that.
She'll go up. She'll go up.
If you want to come up, you can come up too. The lighting is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Come right up here. Perfect. Okay, so everybody come over a little bit. So again, I'd like to present this to Tony on behalf of the state of New Jersey, and just to recognize Caitlin and John for all your efforts as well. Thank you for representing Mercer County and representing the families and just showing how important this struggle is, not only to save lives, but to bring dignity to so many of us and for those that have lost their come before us. Thank you so much. Yes,
From the patients and the families of ALS patients in New Jersey, we would like to present you.
Thank you so
the
much.
Heroes of Hope certificate.
That's
for
wonderful.
Your 5+ years of supporting the ALS Association.
Thank you so much, Connie. Thank you so much. Now, please, there is a little bit of food left. Cookies, particularly, and brownies. Kayla, if you'd like anything, we'll bring it back for you. Please eat, have some drink.